Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome to this channel today, and I thank you very much for viewing this video. I'm Dr. Olayinka Conley. I'm a lecturer in the university. I'm a researcher. I'm a life coach. I'm a scholar. I'm an academic. And I'm a public speaker. On this channel, I do a number of things. But all these stuffs I do on this channel, you can categorize them into four: sociology, research, relationship, and migration. All this I do intentionally as consistently as possible so you may benefit one way or the other. And if it is your first time of coming in contact with my channel, or it's your first time of viewing my content, kindly subscribe to this channel so you may be alerted every time I drop new content, and tap your notification button. Comment, like, and share this video widely so others may also benefit. And if you are a return viewer, that is, you have viewed my content before, thank you very much. But if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to this channel. Also, if you have subscribed to this channel and you have viewed my content before, thank you very much for staying tuned. Kindly comment, like, and share this content as widely as possible. Today, I want to talk about literature review. And I've titled this video, "What is literature review?" or review of literature. And how do you come up with an excellent literature review? How do you achieve excellent literature review or review of literature? I decided to do this video because from my years of experience as a lecturer, as a supervisor, as a researcher, I've supervised undergraduates, postgraduates, masters, MPhil, PhD, and PhD candidates, and I've graduated quite a number. And I've done researches across the world, and I've discovered that literature review is a major problem that many students and researchers confront in the line of their research or doing or writing their thesis. Some universities describe this as literature review, some describe it as review of literature, depending on your university. Yet, you must review literature whether you are doing operational research or operations research or academic research, or you are into consultancies, or you are a student at undergraduate or postgraduate level. Literature review is so important. Unfortunately, many universities don't teach literature review as a core module. So many just teach the research process as continuously as possible without really zeroing in on literature review. Many take it for granted, leading to huge capacity gap at the research level. So that's why on this channel, part of what I do is to teach those things or talk about those things that are usually taken for granted in the academic or in scholarship. Things that are not usually taught in the classroom, or things that are taught casually or in passing. Many assume along this area, and I've seen this capacity gap in literature review or review of literature. Let's start this way. What is literature review? Literature review simply means intentional and deliberate engagement with existing works in an area of study or in an area of knowledge. Deliberate examination, consistent, systematic examination of existing works, existing articles, books, or intellectual works that have been done in that area where you want to do your work. You deliberately examine, engage, study existing literature. That's what literature review means, or review of literature. It means deliberately examining, questioning, interrogating existing body of knowledge in particular area of your own interest. And why do you do this? You want to understand what has been done in that area over the years, over many years. You want to understand what has been done and what has not been done, so you can come up with what we call gaps in knowledge. You want to understand what has not been done, because the essence of your work is not to do what has been done actually most of the time. You want to contribute not something new. If the work has been done elaborately in the past, so why going into it? Sometimes we may want to confirm what has been done, but essentially, we want you to contribute something new. That's why you have to do extensive strategic engagement with the literature. So even if you want to do something that's been done, so you want to know how it has been done, how it has not been done. So you can review literature to understand gaps in methodology, what has not been used and what has been used that you want to do, you want to use. You can also use it to understand gaps in theory. You can also use it to understand gaps in data. You can also use it to understand gaps in context, that is, where has it been done, where has it not been done that you want to do. You can also use it to understand gaps in a number of things, even in disciplines, gaps in discipline. Don't forget what I've mentioned. You want to understand gaps across all these areas. If it's been done in the United States but it's not been done in Canada, then we can do it in Canada. So you've discovered that in literature. Maybe they have used particular methodology, they have not used particular methodology, you want to use this methodology. Or the ones they have used, how have they used it? And how do you think you want to use your own? Or even in data, what data is available, which one is not available that you want to contribute. And even the setting, like I mentioned, I did this video on the research setting or study area on this area, on this channel. So you can also look at that video and the number that I've done on methodology. So literature review is a component of research. If you are doing academic research, maybe for your PhD or your MPhil or your BSc, it will likely be in your chapter 2. After you have stated your problem, you have had your objective, then you want to review literature to know how you want to proceed. Literature review is very important because it will speak to your objectives. It will speak to your statement of problem. In fact, there must be handshakes among your topic, your statement of problem, your objectives, and your literature review. Because what you're going to review literature on are actually going to be based on your objectives. Because you want to know what has been done on your objectives, specific objectives, and what has not been done that you want to do. And you must bear in mind that if you want to contribute something new, especially, then you must do your literature review very intentionally to see the gap. I see many students, many reports take this for granted, become so casual in this area. Many simply just do this as though they are bothering them. So that's why you have to do literature review, and it's very important. And I've also examined many works that people do what I usually call literature overview. Meanwhile, if you are thinking about doing something very new, especially your PhD, and you just type your topic into search engines, and you just see thousands and thousands and thousands of literature, that may be early warning signs to let you know that that place is already overflogged. That area is already over-researched. And if you are looking for something new to contribute, it may be difficult for you to get something new if it's been an area that there have been a deluge of literature in that area. So bear in mind, I've seen students, say to me in the past that, sir, I don't have literature in this my area of study. I think that is very good. You may then have to review tangential literature. What do I mean by tangential literature? Literature that are related to the issue, but not exactly on the issue. If you don't have so much literature on your work, congratulations. You are wondering why I say congratulations. That means that area is very novel, it's very new, it's a niche area that you may build your scholarship on. It means that area has not been studied. That means your work is new and original. So it's nothing to despair about. It's nothing to be sad about. It simply means you are doing a study that is new and fresh. You're going to contribute something new. But if you just type your topic in search engine and you find thousands and thousands of literature, perhaps that area is already overflogged and you have to be very careful. So it depends on your interest of your supervisor, interest of your university, interest of your department, or interest of your funder, if you have been funded in that research. So be careful that if you don't have sufficient literature in your area, congratulations. It may mean that you are doing something entirely new, no one has done before. And that means your work is going to be very interesting and well received across the world. So, but like I said, many people do what I call literature overview instead of literature review. Literature review is what we want. It's not literature overview mostly. But you see so many people just randomly dropping ideas from other scholars without engaging with these ideas or this literature. That's what I call literature overview. You just read and say what they have said in their work, or you just simply repeat what they have said in their work without critically engaging with this data or this literature. That's what I call literature overview. You just simply give us an overview of what has been done. That's not a good way to do literature review. What you want to do in literature review is to read this literature and engage with them. Interrogate them. What have they done? What have they not done? What have they done that you believe are not properly done? What have they done that you believe should not have been done? And what have they not done that they're supposed to have done? This is how you can bring out something like we call gaps in knowledge. You must interrogate the literature, not just saying they have done this, they have done that, this has done this one did this one did that. No, you must carefully, professionally, competently say what they have done, why have they done it that way, why did they not do they should have done, and what are the problems in these previous studies. That's how to do it. For example, you want to do literature review, you can say, well, according to Akole 2023, he mentioned three major reasons for migration into the United Kingdom. However, Akole did not cover the fourth one covered by Omobowale 2022. Omobowale gave more elaborate reasons for migrating into the UK, even into the US. But Akole only stopped at the level of the UK. Hence, Olutayo 2023 or Buzaye 2024 did better work than Akole in the sense that they did not only cover the United Kingdom, they covered United States, Canada, and Australia, meaning their work is more relevant to contemporary knowledge than that of Akole. Moreover, leveraging more contextual scenarios and more contemporary data and more nuanced methodology and fantastic theories, Jais 2023 did this and this. However, Jais did not do this, but Olufumilola did. That's how you build literature review. So by the time you begin to weave this narrative, bringing out the gaps, you are able to clearly show what many people have done that they have not done properly, or they have done properly that you want to build on. It's not just telling us what they have done without showing us the gap. I hope you find that very. So how do you do literature review? There are two major types that I've come to discover over time. There's one I call chronological review of literature and thematic review of literature. Chronological review of literature means you are just simply reviewing the literature in chronological way without breaking them down into specific sections. People do this, they just mention a particular heading and they keep reviewing literature continuously. That is more complicated, more difficult for beginners. So I usually recommend thematic approach. Thematic approach means you use your objectives to form headings. And based on this, you are able to review carefully. You can start from conceptual or definitions of your key concepts in your literature, engage with these concepts or definitions on your key variables and how they have defined them if they are suitable for you. You can do empirical, where you talk about studies that have been done, like I mentioned earlier, in my narrative with Akonle, Omobowale, Olutayo, and Jais, and Olufumilola. So you tell us what they have done and what they have not done that you want to do to show the gaps. That's empirical. So you must review literature that are recent. Usually I recommend 5 years. If you review too many dated literature, then your work is becoming old on arrival. And be careful, don't do copy and paste, because plagiarism softwares will discover. And that's why many people have problems publishing in high impact journals, because they have done too many copy and paste and this work will not be original. That's why you must not copy and paste, review, engage the way I gave you example now. If you engage that way, your work will be very clean and original. Beware of plagiarism. It is very important. Be deliberate and be clear. Don't copy and paste other people's work. We call it academic crime. So you must not copy other people's work. You must review the work. Review the work. I've seen many people, it's very difficult to read some people, the literature review section, when you are examining their dissertation or thesis or project, because they simply go and copy, or they simply do literature overview and make it very boring to read. But if you do literature review, it will be very interesting to read, because we are going to be able to see the flow, the pattern, the narrative in that work. So the flow is there, and as we are reading, we're able to see the gaps, and we are able to say, wow, this is a fantastic job. So, and be clear what you are doing. Don't forget I said thematic. This is very important. So you can break your literature review into sections. Do what I call conceptual review of literature, whereby you engage with how has the concepts, your variables been defined in the literature, have they been defined? And how do you want to define it? This can also have handshake with your operationalization of concept or definition of concept, which usually will be in your chapter 1 or earlier part. How do you want to use your concept in the context of your work? And this can be clearer in your literature review on those concepts and the definitions of key variables you are looking at. Then you do empirical review of literature. Empirical review of literature, or literature review of empirical literature, will help you to see what have been done in terms of research or researches in that area. Empirical review of literature or empirical literature review, that's what they call it. So once you break it into conceptual or definitional, you review literature on those ones. How have they used it? How has Akanle used it? How has Mujahideen, how has he used it? How has Kappa used it? How has Bubando used it? How has Elementa Kahuzi used it? Like that, all those names you tell us. And how do you want to do it? Then that would tell us how you want to use it. And when you get to empirical, what researches have been done in that area. So it's very important. This review is key, but it's not as difficult as people think. And you must not be casual about it. But you must be careful. You must have read extensively. That's the problem that many people have. Many people can't read. They just want to do it as though someone is bothering them. You must be able to read, because that's what will grant your research. That's what will stabilize your research. That's what will make your research very fantastic and properly placed within the confine of that disciplinary or empirical boundaries. So literature review is very important. Read as many as possible of recent literature for your work to be very excellent. I hope I've added value to you today. So kindly subscribe to this channel, comment, like, and share. Until I see you in my next video, I wish you well in your research. You will excel. Thank you very much.